Hi guys, Freddie B here. It's week 7 of Freddie Bz Pathetic NFL football picks. Well, week 6 went by, and I got to tell you, it was my first losing week of the season with Freddie Bz Pathetic picks. Now, once again, my picks are not based on anything scientific, and my picks are not based on any point spreads or anything. They're just on picks based on whom I think will win the game. And so, with that said, I went 7-8 last week. First time I've had a losing week. I think I was 11-5 the week before. So, here's one thing I can tell you about these. These are stone cold picks. These teams will definitely win. Here's the teams I will tell you guaranteed will not lose this week. They are the Panthers, the Cowboys, Jets, Titans, Texans, and the Bengals. And while I know a lot of those sound controversial, remember, those teams are on a bye. So let's take a look at our bye teams for this week, okay? The Panthers, basically in a word, suck. 0-6, and they're not looking any better, and I don't think they're going to win a few games. They're not going to go 0 for the season, and but they're just not a good football team right now. Chuck, I'm super sorry to have to tell you that. Titans, Tannehill, very disappointing for me. Titans are 2-4. They should be 4-2, I think. 3-3 would at least make them mediocre at best, but they're disappointing is the word I would have for them. Jets, surprisingly mediocre at 3-3. I only say this because I think everybody wrote them off once Aaron Rodgers went down. I've talked to a couple Jets fans, and a lot of them don't like this quarterback, but you know what? He's doing his job, and the rest of the team seems to be picking it up, but I'm sure they could use a week off to make sure that they don't lose. Let's see, who else? The Texans, mediocre team, and proving up to that. The Bengals are a legit team at 3-3, I think. They're doing okay, or what are they, 4-2, I believe? They're a legit team taking a week off. The Cowboys should be 5-1. They should be. And they're 4-2. And I think they snuck that one out the other night, quite frankly. So maybe they're not as good as I think they are. But I'm still going to be I don't know if I'm a fan of the Cowboys. I don't think I am because I'm a Redskins guy. So, you can't like the Cowboys if you're a Redskins guy. And the Redskins are not my favorite team. You all know the favorite team I have. So we're going to go to that. So now on to the picks. Here we go. First one Thursday night is the surprising Jackson Jaguars. Now on to the games. The first one is Thursday night. Surprisingly good Jacksonville Jaguars against the New Orleans Saints down in New Orleans, the city of urine smell. Jaguars coming back from England, had scones and tea and did well and beat the Bills. And I'll tell you what. Good. Their quarterback, Clemson guy, what's his name? He's starting to look like a professional quarterback, so that's good. However, I'm going to give it to the Saints because I think they're used to that ammonia-y smell that permeates throughout New Orleans, and I think the Jags might get a little dizzy-headed at that. So I'm going to take the Saints on that game. Next, the surprisingly legit, very good Detroit Lions, who beat the Buccaneers last week against the Baltimore Bloodymore Ravens. They're playing in the city of brotherly blood, Baltimore, where you too can be a murderer, or your shoes can. But I'm picking the Lions. The Lions are a big underdog in this game, according to pundits. I do look stuff up, but I just don't see the Ravens. I think the Lions are doing very well. They're not showing a whole lot of weakness. They played a decent Tampa Bay team last week, and they played in Tampa Bay, and they came out with a win, and I've got to give the Lions a lot of credit for that. So, I think the Lions, which is one of the only, there are 5 5-1 teams, the Lions being one of them, they're leaving 6-1. Now, not every team is going to be 6-1 because 2 5-1 teams are playing each other. More on that in a moment. Okay. Then we got the Raiders playing the Bears. They're playing in Soldier Field. Maybe it'll snow in Chicago. That would be great. Anyway, the vaunted Bears with an homage to Dick Butkus, who died recently. God rest his soul. I think the Bears are using that as some type of motivator to get going, because I think they played very well last weekend, and they're going to play well enough to win this weekend against the Raiders. 50-50 team coming up next, the Browns versus the Colts. This is a tough game to call because I have friends on both sides of this equation. I got a buddy of mine, Scott. He is a huge Cleveland Browns fan, and I got a buddy of mine, David, who's a huge Baltimore and Indy Colts fan. I don't care if they both lose because they're both liberals. Ha! Just kidding. But here's the deal. The Browns are going into Baltimore. I'm sorry. The Browns are going into Indianapolis. I'm not going to edit that. And they're going to play the Colts. And I think the Browns are going to win. So I'm going to pick the Browns there. Next game, we're going to Bills versus the Patriots. Now, this is a controversial pick. The Patriots are at home, and they, much like the Panthers, suck. But I need the Bills to lose. I'm going to change. I'm going to say the Bills are going to win. I had circled it. I'm going to tell you, I'd circle the Patriots to win at home. But the Bills are so good, and the Patriots just are miserable. And I couldn't be happier for Bill Belichick to be that miserable, because I just think he is the most miserable person in the NFL. I'm sure he's probably a pretty nice guy, but he just comes off as this curmudgeonly, miserable guy. And it couldn't be, you know what? It could be because he's up in the Boston area, where the most tight-ass people in the world live. And, if I had $1 for everybody from Boston who was a Patriots fan, then I would go out and get a Sam Adams and get wicked pissed. For those of you, maybe I should put a thing under that in this part to translate that Bostonian thoughts there. So I'm going to take the Bills. Next game, Redskins-Giants. Giants stink. They're at home. They're going to be playing out in New Jersey and everything like that, but the Redskins are going to come up there. And again, the Redskins have turned into a mediocre team at best, but I think they're going to go up there and they're going to beat the Giants. I always don't pick the home team, see? That's it. But I am picking a home team for the next one, and that is the Atlanta Falcons. Sorry about that. Against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay? Buccaneers coming off a very tragic loss to the Lions last weekend. I don't think, and I hate to say this because coming up, I'm going to have to say a different tune. The Bucs won't lose 2 in a row. They're too good a team to lose 2 in a row to a team like the Falcons, who are not as good as the Bucs anyway. Bucs have the home field. It's going to be a beautiful day. Right now in Florida, it is Wednesday the 12th. It's about 1 o'clock when I'm doing this. My house is wide open. It is sunny, bright, and 75 degrees with almost 30% humidity. You wouldn't think you were in Florida. 2 weeks ago, it was 92 degrees with 90% humidity, and everybody's air conditioner was just running off the charts. And Florida Power and Light was making millions of dollars. So, anyway, I'm picking the Falcons. I'm not picking the Falcons. I'm picking the Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers are going to have a wonderful Sunday to play football. Steelers-Rams next. I'm going to take the Rams. The Rams are at home. They're going to do that. The Cardinals are playing the Seahawks. This is a... I don't know who's going to... Maybe a third-rate cable outfit should cover this team. I'd rather watch Wrexham play Tottenham than have to sit for this game. The Cardinals are a bad team. The Seahawks are not a good team. I'm not going to say they're a bad team, but they're not a good team. They do have home field, though, and they do have the grunge factor. And I think if everybody in the Seahawks wears their checkerboard grunge shirts, flannel shirts, they're going to beat the Cardinals from Phoenix. So there you go. If it's a sunny day, though, the Cardinals could win. The Packers against the Broncos. Again, 2 mediocre teams at best. What happened to the Packers? They got rid of Aaron Rodgers, but they also saved $30 million, I guess. So it's probably why they got rid of him. They're going to go into Denver, and Denver has just shown they have been lifeless. They have not been good. Even in their win, they weren't great. But I'm going to pick the Packers over them, over the Broncos. 20-17. I was like, what the heck? So anyway, Chargers should have won. I don't know if they should have won. I picked the Chargers because I was like, Dallas is going downhill. But then they kind of rejuvenated me a bit. I kind of feel for them. So anyway, they're going to play the Chiefs. Chiefs are really, really good. Again, the Chiefs are a 5-1 team. They've got one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in Patrick Mahomes, and they're playing at home. I don't see a downside to this unless the Chargers get a bolt of lightning, and suddenly get good. And I'm not sure they're going to do that. And then the game of games, the game of the evening. I'm going to have to stay up late to watch this game. The mighty Dolphins of Miami play the Eagles that are flying high. Both teams 5-1. Eagles coming off a tough loss to the New York Jets, which I believe last week I did not pick. I did pick the Eagles, but I may have said something last week. If you go back, look at the tape. Let's go back to the videotape. I think I might have said the Jets are giant killers. The Dolphins could be 14-2 or whatever, and the 2 losses would be to the Jets, and the Jets could be 2-14, because the Jets just find a way to beat really good teams, and it's just that they're the Jets, and they just ruin things for people. So anyway, the Eagles are going to win, are not going to. The Eagles are going to lose 2 in a row because the Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa and that receiving team they got, the speed they have. Now, I don't know that they can, as long as they stay healthy, they're rocking. This reminds me again, and this may be repeatable, Dan Marino and the Marx Brothers, Mark Duper, Mark Clayton, 1984, 85, 86. The Dolphins, almost unstoppable on offense. Fortunately, very, very Swiss cheesy defenses. So they were some great games between like Jim Kelly with the Bills against Dan Marino, and those guys that was back in the gunslinging days. I mean, you had Dan Fouts, you had quarterbacks that could heave it, and that was fun football to watch. And the Eagles are a pretty good team. I got to give them a lot of credit. I'm just not a huge fan. They did lose last week. They're at home, and as long as nobody throws too many batteries at the Dolphins, hopefully, it's hard to root for a team that has their own jail, but I'm going to root for the Dolphins and take the Dolphins here. And I'll tell you, I'd show up with all my Dolphin stuff on if I went to that game. I ain't afraid of nobody. And then, finally, Monday night. That's mine. San Francisco 49ers against the Vikings. The Vikings, again, mediocre team. 49ers lost last week, which is amazing, but they did. And I actually have circled here the Vikings, but then again, I'm going, you know what, the 49ers are damn good. So I'm going to switch that one. And what did I do? I switched the, I don't think I switched anything else. So I'm taking the 49ers in that. So it's going to be the 49ers, Monday Night Football, over the Minnesota Vikings. And that's it. So look, Austin Grand Prix, Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Max Verstappen has won the Formula One World Championship, and Red Bull has won the Drivers' Championship. So the fight's on for second between Checo, which is Sergio Perez, in the other Red Bull, and Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes-Benz Silver Bullet. A lot of stuff going on in F1. Circuit of the Americas is a pretty good course. I know they'll have a fabulous crowd, and it will be a great Grand Prix. So if you get a chance to watch it, by all means, please do, or tape it, and you will enjoy it also. Here's my podium for the U.S. Grand Prix. It's going to be Max Verstappen first, and I think if Checo gets his stuff together, he'll come in second, and then I'm hoping for a Fernando Alonso in the cognizant Aston Martin to come in third. So Max, Red Bull, Checo, Red Bull, Aston Martin in a Mercedes. A lot of upgrades. Look at the Haas team. They're bringing big upgrades. They should be pretty quick too. I would not be surprised to see Nico Hulkenberg starting 6th, 7th in this race. Anyway, that's what I got. Look forward to talking to you later. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you want. Love to have you. And hit the bell for, I don't know, whatever you want to do. Anyway, have a good one. See ya. Bye-bye.